Hello and welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. We have got so much to get into on today's video, but before we do that, if you are watching today for the first time, please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner, make sure you get involved. Right, today we're talking about Sesco versus Ollie Watkins, and I want to get your thoughts on this. We're going to run a poll in the live chat. Who would you rather, Ollie Watkins or Benjamin Sesco? I want to get your thoughts. Let's put it in the chat. So we're going to do, who would you rather, Ollie Watkins or Benjamin Sesco? There you go. Right, it's in the chat. Obviously, if you're watching this video back not live, then you won't be able to get involved in the poll. The poll is just exclusively for the live viewers. But you will be able to get involved in the comment section. So yeah, get in the comment section. Let me know. Who would you rather, Benjamin Sesco or Ollie Watkins? We're going to talk about both of them. I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'll bring you the news as well. So let's start off with Benjamin Sesco. I think that's the big story at the moment. So there has been a big update this morning from Mr. Fabrizio Romano in relation to Benjamin Sesco. And he is reporting that apparently Manchester United are still deciding whether they want to sign Benjamin Sesco. I mean, why? What is there to decide? I don't get it. We need a striker. We missed out on Gyökeres. We missed out on Delap. We missed out on Osman. We missed out on, who else? Jonathan David. We've missed out on everybody, right? Benjamin Sesco is the best available option remaining, probably. Obviously, Ollie Watkins, great. But the age of 30, £60 million, is that really sensible business? So this is coming out from the Telegraph this morning, saying that Manchester United Chiefs are currently looking at the difference in styles between Watkins and Sesco to work out which, if either, would be the best fit for Ruben Amorim's team. Okay. Then we've got Ben Jacobs saying that Ollie Watkins is very open to joining Manchester United. Sources close to Villa have said that an offer over 50 million will stand a chance, especially if he pushes for the move. And then Fabrizio's also said this morning that apparently Newcastle have pretty much done all of the work and are ready to pull the trigger on Benjamin Sesco. But effectively, Benjamin Sesco hasn't decided yet whether he wants to go to Newcastle or Manchester United. I mean, he wants to come to Manchester United is the general headline, but Newcastle are the only team that are actually actively trying to sign him, if that makes sense. Like, Manchester United are just, they're doing like we always do. We're window shopping. You know, we're asking loads of clubs the structure of the deal and all the rest of it, but we've not decided whether we're actually going to pull the trigger. So yeah, Fabrizio's also said this. He says that Christopher Vivell, who is our head of recruitment at Manchester United, he says Christopher Vivell is internally, hold on, let me read that. Okay, so it says that Christopher Vivell internally is pushing the interest in Benjamin Sesco. He says he is really pushing for this opportunity. He knows the boy. He knows his potential. He knows his development of how special he can be. I mean, that's positive. Obviously, Christopher Vivell is the head of recruitment. He used to work for the Red Bull Group, so he knows Benjamin Sesco very well. He knows, as Fabrizio says, his potential and that he could, you know, be one of the best players in the world in future years, which is amazing. And I think he will be one of the best strikers in the world. He's 22 at the moment. And I think he's only going to get better from here on out. So yeah, that's really exciting. I just hope and pray that we get this deal done. I think, I think the fact that Newcastle are also there, I mean, it doesn't really bother me. If we want Benjamin Sesco, we will get Benjamin Sesco. It's as simple as that. Like, if we go to Leipzig and say, we'll give you the money, we go to Benjamin Sesco and say, here's the wages, he'll definitely join Manchester United, realistically. We're the biggest, if not, you know, in the top 3 biggest clubs in the world. So, you know, all due respect to Newcastle, the likelihood of him rejecting Manchester United for Newcastle is pretty small. So let's just remember this. If he does end up going to Newcastle, that is because we haven't gone in for him. And at the moment, we're still umming and ahhing about whether we want to sign him or not. Which I don't really understand. But I guess we've got to let them do their thing. The Premier League starts 2 weeks on Friday, which is mental. 2 weeks on Friday, the Premier League season starts. And we'll be playing Arsenal. Probably one of the most difficult games of the season. Who's going to start up front for us in 2 weeks? What do you reckon, chat? Like, yeah, who do you think will be the striker for that first game of the season? I honestly don't know, to be honest. Would it be Hjulmand? I think Hjulmand's injured, no? Xerxes? I don't know the answer. But yeah, it looks like this one is moving a little bit slower than we'd like. And obviously the fact that Newcastle are going like full steam ahead is... to be honest, I don't think it's a major worry, realistically. Because at the end of the day, Benjamin Sesco is going to decide what's best for him. And at the moment, he hasn't made his mind up whether he wants to go to Manchester United or to Newcastle. And the reason for that is because at the moment, Newcastle are the only team of the two who've actually submitted an official proposal to Leipzig. At the moment, Manchester United haven't submitted an official proposal, whereas Newcastle have. But he hasn't said he wants to go to Newcastle, which I agree with. I think he should probably wait it out, see if Manchester United do come knocking. If they do come knocking, he's obviously going to choose Manchester United. We've already heard that from reliable people that, if Manchester United going strong for Benjamin Sesco, he will join Manchester United, which makes a lot of sense realistically because, in the grand scheme of things, we are leap years above of Newcastle, and there's not really any argument to it. We are a massive football club. Newcastle are obviously a big football club in England, but in the grand scheme of things, Newcastle aren't that big, are they, worldwide compared to Manchester United? Anyway, Manchester United are one of, if not the biggest clubs in world football. So, yeah, it's a little bit strange. I don't really know what they're deciding. I mean, realistically, they're deciding whether they want to go for Benjamin Sesco or for Ollie Watkins. And as I said, you can have your say in the comment section on this one. So yeah, get your thoughts in. Benjamin Sesco or Ollie Watkins? Let me know. Who would you go for? Who would be your number one target? Let me know in the comments below. I'm sticking with Benjamin Sesco, to be honest. Benjamin Sesco all the way for me. Like 100% Benjamin Sesco. No, there's not even any doubt in my mind. I think he is... I don't know. I just think his age, I think the fact that you probably get another, 10 years out of Benjamin Sesco, realistically. Whereas Ollie Watkins, you may only get, I don't know. I mean, how many more years do you reckon Ollie Watkins has left at the top level? 5, maybe, at a push. He'd be 35. So, yeah. That's my take. But obviously, you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Who would you go for? Who would be your preferred option? Very interested to see. Obviously, if you put your comments in below, I will read out some comments. I'll read through some of the comments when I get time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. But moving on from there, I can see a lot of people in the chat saying, "Can we talk about Donnarumma?" Do we really think that we're going to get Donnarumma, guys? Like, I think the likelihood of us signing Donnarumma is incredibly small. I would say 5%. Again, that's just my opinion. Would I sign Donnarumma at Manchester United? Of course I would. Donnarumma is an absolutely fantastic footballer. But yeah, I can't see Donnarumma coming to Manchester United. I mean, why would he? Let's have a look. So there's a story here saying Manchester United are the favourites to sign Donnarumma. Discussions have taken place between the player's entourage and the club in recent hours. Another one here. Manchester United are the front runners to sign Donnarumma. It says there's lots of interest in him. Galatasaray, Saudi, Manchester United, Manchester City. Obviously, Man City have just signed James Trafford, haven't they? So they're not going to want him now. So Galatasaray, Saudi, Manchester United. Why is he leaving? I don't get it. Does anyone know? Like, why is Donnarumma leaving PSG? Would I take Donnarumma? Of course I would. I think Donnarumma is an absolutely fantastic goalkeeper and levels above Andre Onana, but I just don't really understand this story. Like, why is he leaving PSG? Is his contract up? Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few people reporting this story. You got the Guardian reporting as well. All right, it all makes sense. He's got 1 year left on his contract. I reckon that he's just going to try and get a new contract. He's going to use Manchester United's interest to get a new contract. I mean, that's what always happens, isn't it? So that kind of makes sense now. So the only reason that there's this like news story this morning linking Manchester United and Donnarumma is because Donnarumma's contract at PSG has effectively come to an end. Well, will be coming to an end in a year. So, you know, from his perspective of like wanting to make sure that pretty much wanting to make sure that he's in contract, the best option for him is obviously to agree a deal with someone else now. And that's what effectively he's doing, isn't it? So, I mean, that does make more sense the more I think about it. I mean, how much would Donnarumma cost? People are saying that they signed a new goalkeeper as well. Al says that Donnarumma's refused to sign a new contract without a massive pay rise. Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense then. So realistically, he'd come to Manchester United. He'd probably want like, 300k a week. Probably have to pay PSG, 40, 50 million, I imagine. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. As much as I would like Donnarumma, I really, really would. Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely sign him, don't get me wrong. Like 100%. But yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one. You can get your thoughts in the comment section on this one though, guys. Is Donnarumma the answer for Manchester United? Let me know your thoughts below. Would you take him at Manchester United? I assume most of you would. But yeah, I just think he's not been able to agree a new deal with PSG. He wants massive wages. It sounds like Manchester United's worst nightmare. Yeah, Alice says PSG signed a new goalkeeper because Donnarumma was demanding more money. He'll probably end up going to Saudi, I reckon. Saudi will be able to pay him the amount of money that he wants, won't he? I don't really see how Manchester United could pay him. Like, how much will Manchester United have to pay him? 300k a week, maybe? Roughly? What do we think? Like, how much is Donnarumma worth in the current market, chat? Let me know. I would say... yeah, I don't know. How old is he? Is he still in his 20s, or am I way off here? I feel like Donnarumma's been around for ages. Oh, he's 26. Wow. I mean, if there's a genuine opportunity there to sign Donnarumma, we should be signing him, but I just can't see it happening. Maybe, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we sign Donnarumma and Sesco. Yeah, 250 to 300k a week. He wants a pay rise. What's he on at PSG? Let's have a look. Donnarumma wages. So at PSG, wow. So at PSG at the moment, he owns, I mean, it's not that much actually in the grand scheme of things. He earns 244,000 euros a week, which is, let's have a look what that is in pounds. So he earns like 200k a week. But you think that, I swear Harry Maguire's on about 200k a week. So I mean, in the grand scheme of things, 200k a week isn't actually that much, is it? Let's have a look at our wages at the moment. So currently we pay De Ligt 200k a week. We pay Sancho 250. We pay Mount 250. We pay Maguire 200. We pay Cunha 180 and Mbumo 150. We pay Casemiro 350. We pay Bruno 300. I mean, if he's on 200 a week now, I imagine he'd probably want 250 to 300 grand a week, right? That'd be my guess. But that's not terrible. Like, you know, for one of, if not the best goalkeepers in world football, that's not awful. When you think that Jadon Sancho will go, that's 250 off our wage bill. When you think that Casemiro will be gone next summer, that's 350 off our wage bill. Yeah, I would like to see Donnarumma, but I reckon if I was to predict, I could see Saudi coming in with like a huge offer for Donnarumma, you know, like 100 million, and they'll give him like 700 grand a week and he'll go there. But we'll see. Maybe that doesn't happen. But right, let's move on from there. Let's talk about Morten Hjulmand. I always struggle to say this guy's name. Obviously, Sporting Lisbon midfielder. There are some reports this morning suggesting that Manchester United are set to submit a bid for the Sporting Lisbon central defensive midfielder. I would really, really like to see this guy at Manchester United, but I think in reality, will it happen? Probably not. I think at the moment we're locked in on a striker, we're locked in on a goalkeeper. I feel like a midfielder may happen later on in the window, but I feel like there will have to be some outgoings first. We're hearing some news that Toby Collier might leave on loan. That will obviously then free up some space in the midfield for an extra player to come in. So I would like to see this guy from Sporting come in, but I think the likelihood of it at the moment is quite small. I think it's probably just like outside noise, if that makes sense. And I think it's probably one of those ones where we will just have to wait a little bit, see what happens with the striker situation, see what happens with the goalkeeper situation, see who ends up leaving the club, and then we can kind of then re-establish where we're at with things. Because at the moment, I think the likelihood of us bringing in a midfielder right now is pretty small. Doesn't mean it won't happen. It doesn't mean it's impossible. But yeah, I think it's a relatively small chance that we're going to bring in, you know, a midfielder as well as a striker, as well as a goalkeeper, all in the next kind of few weeks. I think it'll be more that as the window starts to get towards an end in the next couple of weeks, I feel like then we'll start to probably see a bit of flurry of activity. And I feel like we'll then probably see some links to players like this guy from Sporting Lisbon, who I think would be a really, really good option, don't get me wrong. And he's definitely somebody I would like to bring in. But yeah, I think at the moment this is just paper talk. I think this is just the classic Manchester United being linked to 500 clubs, as they always are. Yeah, I feel like that's probably more realistic at this point. But again, let me know your thoughts on that one. Let's see what else people are saying in the chat. He's pronounced Hjulmand. There we go. Rather have the Brighton midfielder. What? Balaba? Is that how you say his name? I'm not great with the pronunciation of names. I think it's Balaba. Balaba. But yeah, he looks quality, mate. He looks absolutely quality. I would definitely bring him in, 100%. Hopefully Manchester United do, but do we really think that's going to happen? I would say probably not. But at the same time, you never know with Manchester United. Maybe we do bring him in. I would love to see that. But yeah, like I said, I think the likelihood of us bringing in... How much is he going to cost you? Brighton's best player. I reckon they'd want like 100 million for him. Realistically. Yeah, I genuinely reckon they would want like 100 million. Which sounds ridiculous, but when, you know, you think that they sold Caicedo for... how much did they sell Caicedo for? Was it 100 million? More. They sold him for a ridiculous amount of money anyway, didn't they? So, yeah, I think the likelihood of us being able to bring in one of Brighton's best players is quite small. Maybe like next summer, maybe. But he is literally their best player, isn't he? Right. I think that's everything I have planned for the show this morning. Right. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate all of your support. Hope you all have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Hopefully we get some news today. Obviously I will go live if that happens. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye for now.